It's bitter cold today. It's windy, blustery. We've been seeing some snow flurries. No, we did not move to the Scottish Highlands, although you wouldn't know it sometimes living in western Pennsylvania. However, we did recently just procure some Scottish Highland cattle. These seem to be all the rage right now on YouTube. You're seeing lots of YouTube homesteads getting Scottish Highland cattle. Instagram, you're seeing them pop up everywhere. What is it about these cows? Why do people love them? Why do homesteaders love them? Why did we decide to bring some onto our homestead? In today's show, we're gonna talk about that, why we decided to get some Scottish Highland cattle. And we're gonna share with you some funny stories about getting them, a couple of warnings if you're deciding to get some cattle, Scottish Highland or other, some things to look out for. We almost got scammed. It's gonna be a great podcast. If you could do two things for me while you're waiting for the show to begin. First off, just smash that thumbs up button. It helps other people find our show. And then also, if you wouldn't mind hitting the share button, it'll copy a link to this video and then pasting it on your favorite social media site. Helps other people find our show. Tell those people what to look forward to. We're gonna do a whole episode on Scottish Highland cattle. So if people are interested in getting some of these cool animals or they just love those animals. And if you still have time before the show begins, in the chat box, let us know what would be your dream cow on your homestead. What would you like to see? The show will begin in just a minute. Thank you for joining us. Let's get into it. We had a very exciting day recently. We shared it with those on the YouTube channel, but if you're listening on the podcast, you don't even know this yet. Recently, we welcomed our very first beef cattle to the homestead. It was a very exciting day for us. Let's take a quick look back at that day when the long-awaited for, we've been talking about it for ages, long-awaited for beef cattle arrived. Today's the day. Today.
It's delivery day.
So it would only be fitting that, like, right up to the very unloading moment, we had problems with this getting the beef cows to the farm.
Yes.
But they're here. Let's go say hi.
Unloaded. Not where we wanted to unload them, but it's secure. And soon we'll know which one's which, but right now I do not. We'll tell you names soon enough. You can get used to them. Our first horned cattle.
We've been stockpiling grass. Stockpiling just for this specifically. We've been rotating our Jersey girls through this pasture, and we stockpiled a lot of pasture for when the beef arrived. They're going to need more hay or more feed throughout the winter than our Jersey girls do. Our Jerseys go through so little hay, it's not even funny. They are not too spooky with us right now, which is great. Also, we do not know how much they've been trained to electric and rotational grazing and that sort of thing. So right now they have a very large area with a hot perimeter. We've already seen them come up to the perimeter. They know it's hot, and pretty soon we'll try to start working them into smaller sections and rotationally graze them through this field here. So this was a momentous moment for us as homesteaders. We have been cow owners for
5 years?
Going on 5 years.
Yeah, maybe 6.
But beef, I don't know. It feels like
And somebody actually commented that when we talked about getting beef. It was somewhat snarky of a comment.
I'm shocked we got a snarky comment on YouTube.
But dairy and beef are different. So what did they say?
When dairy cow owners say they're getting beef, he thinks about people who say, I have a goldfish, so now I'm going to get a shark.
Okay, so it's a little hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic at least.
At least, but they are different animals.
Yeah.
And the reason we got dairy cows to begin with was me. Kind of something I wanted to try in the homestead that Austin never really, I think, wanted to.
No, I mean, yeah, I've said this for years. Larger livestock, I didn't grow up with it. I'm not used to it. I am afraid of it by nature. Not so much
Intimidated.
anymore.
Yeah.
But so when you
And
wanted
you
to
didn't
get
want
cows,
the routine of daily milking.
and definitely had no interest in being a milk
Maid.
individual. My milk pronoun. No, I'm not into that day. Even with a homestead, I don't do the same thing every day. I rarely do all the.
And in your life, you really do the same thing.
We were just
every
talking
day.
about this yesterday. Like, I'm a person who cringes at the thought of having to do the same thing every
routine,
day.
yeah.
I know some people love their like daily routine, and I have little things I do every day. Like we have coffee together, and that's about all I can handle.
Yeah.
Nothing else can. And I eat twice a day.
Which is good for you to know, right? The milk isn't your thing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
So we did the goats at first, and then I wanted to try a cow.
Yep.
On our little 10-acre forest stead, you called it today.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of woods, not much grass.
Not a great place to have a single dairy cow. We got by.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely no place for a beef cow herd.
No.
Yeah,
no.
we had mostly wooded.
Yeah, we were kind of
land.
chipping away
We had
some
barely
trees
an acre
and
of
growing
pasture.
some grass. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was never in our mind back when we lived in Connecticut to do beef. It just was out of the question. And that's one of the reasons I'm such a hunter, because we like, red meat. I wanted red meat, but we were never going to do beef. So I became a hunter so we could get some venison, and that would fill the red meat. And then we did pigs because you don't need as much pasture for pigs, so we had pork.
Yeah, we did the chickens.
We did the chickens. Then everything kind of changed.
Moving to PA, such a huge difference as far as animals for us, because here, a lot more pasture, a lot more defense as far as pasture goes.
Yeah. I think because for years we've been using the animals as a tool of land management, right? We've been, or at least attempting to, right? Like, oh, we have a bunch of weeds, so let's get some goats out there and see how that works. And, instead of mowing the lawn, let's get some sheep and see how that works. Didn't really work for lawn mowing. But we've always looked to animals as a tool for managing the land. And when we came here, our little herd of a couple goats and one dairy cow and a couple chickens, and then the meat chickens every year, it didn't touch the place.
No, we had to mow. Like, it was just growing so quickly.
And if there's one thing I hate doing,
It's mowing.
I've shared this story many times. I hate mowing the lawn. It's like big waste of time. Now I know it needs done, but I don't like doing it. So I'm always thinking, what can we do to manage this better? I think your homestead kind of dictates what animals you should have.
Right, your land specifically, right?
How much of it you have to work with.
What you want to do with it.
Real quickly, we were like, well, let's grow the cow herd.
Because they're just so easy. Even as far as the fencing requirements, we're able to keep our cows in with a couple strands of just fencing, which is great. The water that we installed works perfectly for the cows.
Oh, man, that made life so much easier, our auto waterer.
So we keep... It's not intentional. It's not like we've been saying this is for cows, this is for cows, this is for cows. It's been like, well, then this will be good for the cows and the pigs and the sheep. But everything just works out so perfectly for the cows.
Yeah, and all the other animals have become kind of secondary to our dairy cow herd. And that has grown, and the business side of that has finally emerged after 10 years of homesteading and talking about how to, have a business doing it too. Now we have some calves that we're able to
we're doing something a little different than
sell.
we've done.
And, we have the food product in the dairy. And it grew. Now we have, how many cows? We're up to 3 cows. Mm-hmm. We got a bull.
2 calves.
Currently 2 calves.
This is our Jersey herd. We're not talking about the Highlands yet.
So we're growing it. And I think it was last year, as I was working with the Jersey girls, rotationally grazing them daily throughout the field.
And you love it, which is so funny. For somebody who doesn't want to milk every day, you love to go up there and move the fences, and watch the cows eat the grass.
I wonder why. Because it is something
cleaning, maybe?
Yeah, for sure. Why do I like rotationally grazing cows versus milking?
You like those wide open spaces.
I do. I like getting outside. I always say I don't love being in the barn. I'm not like a barn. I want to say barn rat, but that sounds like a bad thing. Like a barn mouse, a barn. I'm not like a person who loves to be in the barn. I like to be outside in the field, in the woods, and getting out there in the field every day, moving the cows onto fresh pasture, and then that sound and the beautiful scenery of the cow eating the grass. I just love that. Mm. And, doing that every single day with the dairy herd, it became more and more apparent, we need more cows. Our pasture kept getting overgrown. I couldn't keep up with how much we had. And I was mowing still. I was still cutting, which is okay. It's mowing is not bad for your pasture. It's good for the pasture.
You just don't want to do it.
I just would rather see it getting utilized by the animals. And the thing is, at the same time, I didn't want more dairy cows.
No. We're kind of at our max as far as dairy, I think, as far as how often we're milking, how often we want to be milking.
Yeah. By nature, our dairy cows, the minute they calf, they need our babying. Right?
Well, they need to be milked.
Yeah. They need to be milked. They need to be, make sure the calf is cared for, right? We're very hands-on with the dairy.
Yes.
And it requires a lot of us. And then, of course, if you have dairy cows, you want to milk them. That's the whole reason.
Yeah, that's the whole point. But we also keep having our own kids. So we don't need to add on any more dairy to our farm. But you wanted to add more, what would you call them? I'm thinking footprints. You want that crushing the mob, right?
Yeah,
you want
mob.
That wiping out the grass.
I want to grow the mob.
Yeah.
And when I was moving the animals through, I wasn't seeing, when you read about rotational grazing, when you study it, I went and took that field trip to Eli Mack Farms and saw what his cows did when they moved through an area. They literally just crushed and destroyed the vegetation, which is good.
Which is good.
Yeah, you want that. You want them crushing it, and that way it dies and decays, and it builds your soil, and it nutrients. It gets the nutrients it needs. We weren't able to do that with just 3 cows. It just wasn't enough. But we didn't want more dairy.
But we enjoy the cows. You and I both, more and more, I think, would say cows are our favorite thing on the farm.
Yeah, both of us.
Which is pretty mind-blowing for Austin.
This year I have talked about even getting, I would be willing to not even have pigs anymore, which is a big deal.
Just do feeder pigs.
Yeah, a couple feeder pigs. And it might get to that point, whenever a new baby shows up, that always...
Yeah, it mixes things up.
Yeah, it adds more work to our family load. So if we have to lighten the load, we always do our kind of meeting in December and talk about, all right, what are we going to do for the new year? So no spoilers here. We're not getting rid of pigs yet. We haven't talked about this. But we have mentioned I would be willing to get rid of almost every other animal if we needed to, but not cows. I just wanted more when it came to cows.
Oh, no. And I guess chickens and goats will stay, too.
The kids are threatening us. Speaking of which, thanks for the super chat. The kids are dancing again in there. Sharon Spurlock, as you guys know, we say this all the time, the super chats go to the crew, and they're in there jumping up for
enjoying
joy.
It.
So thank you for that.
That was why we settled on beef, finally. And it's something we've talked about for a few years.
Yeah.
Kind of it's been your thing you go to. Beef. Someday we'll do beef. And I've always said that would be your, if you want to spearhead that.
Yeah, and we got out a big thing this year. We wound up shifting out of our camels.
Yes.
Camels were a big expense in not only financially, but also in just management, focus, attention, time, energy, all that.
We went from needing the product to not only not needing it, but also not being able to get it.
Yeah.
So it just didn't make sense
No,
anymore.
as a homestead, having them didn't make sense. But they left a hole where we had what had been going to camels now was empty.
Yeah, we had the resources, time, energy.
Yeah, and so we decided, you know what? Maybe now's the time to make the step into
The business of beef.
The business of beef. And that's when I guess we started researching, right? We started really looking in like we always do.
And we've been to other beef producers in the past. There was one when we were in Connecticut we had just started doing the videos, I think. And we saw Morgan, who raised Dexter cattle in Connecticut.
Yeah, we went toward that farm. And then, just...
Recently, we went to Eli's farm, Mac Farms, where he has the Highlands. So just kind of getting an idea of the other beef options out there. And the smaller breeds. So the more slow-growing, more kind of homesteader breeds that you see a lot out there. The Highlands or the Dexters.
For us, there's a lot of really good beef breeds out there. And, again, chat box, let us know if you're out there and you're watching. Or
you have your beefs that you love.
Yeah, what's your favorite? We've learned over the years with homesteading, there's never a right answer. Like, this is the best breed for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I always think about the dairy cows. Like, we love our mini Jerseys. But some people look at them and think, why? Like, how much milk are you getting? And why would you spend the time with that? I want 8 gallons a day. I'm going to get a Holstein for my family. Sure, do that. If that's a better choice for your family, then that's the choice for your family. And beef are kind of the same way.
Yeah.
People are going to look at one breed and think, why would you do that?
Yeah. And I guess by nature of being on YouTube so long, we get a lot of those comments and we're like ready to explain ourselves. But really, it just comes down to personally, what do you want in your homestead? What are you looking for?
And you're not married to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I like, one of the things I always love about livestock is you can always eat it. So
you make a wrong choice.
If we say, oh, these aren't the beef for our farm, or you say, wow, this wasn't the beef choice for our farm, just eat it and try something else.
Yeah.
Can't do that with dogs.
I mean, technically you can.
Or
technically
horses.
You can. The right breed, there's no right breed out there. For us, it just came down to what breeds were we interested in.
And availability for our area. Talking about if you want to crossbreed or have registered animals, what's in your area?
Yeah. We didn't really look at many different breeds.
No, I think we focused on like those homesteader staples, right? That you see so much of.
And I guess because we already had the mini Jerseys, we already had cow experience to that extent. We knew like, okay, we're not afraid of cows. We just jumped right to we know we want a beef breed. What are we interested in doing? What do we like the looks of? What do we want to work with? What do we want to see out in the field?
What is the property like that we want to manage them with too?
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I don't know. The Highland cattle for me they were just something I thought was so cool. I wanted that here on this homestead. Yeah,
and I think they kept popping up for us as an option when we went to Eli's farm. We've been talking with Eli. We had his bull here last year, year and a half ago, and we loved that little bull. We loved him, seeing him here.
Yeah, that's true. You know, actually, when we were preparing for this episode, I forgot about that. Forgot that we actually got him on the farm and seeing him out there, how cool he was. Just
And his temperament I really liked.
yeah, and you know, initially, and I talked about this in our recent video. Initially, it was a matter of I personally thought they were cool looking. They're just this beautiful animal, and I'd love to see them in the field. Then you start doing the research.
They're so eye-catching.
Right.
That
would they be right
like,
for us?
catches your eye, and then when you're learning more about them, then you decide, okay, is this really going to be practical for us in our situation?
Yeah, and that's where you know you learn about okay, they're a great breed for low quality browse to mid quality, right? If you don't have the best pastures out there, they'll still do good. We have really nice pastures, but there are areas of the homestead where we're trying to further develop, and actually from scratch, you'll see this in the upcoming year. We have areas that we've clear cut that are just dirt right now. And we're going to try to plant.
It's real bad forage.
Really? If they can get fat off of dirt, I'll be really impressed.
That's another thing. Personally, when
Yeah.
I'm looking, what I was looking for as a shift from the mini Jersey was something I wouldn't have to milk. Something that would be good maternal instincts, right? So they'll have a calf in the field, take it on, no problem, raise a baby for 6 months. Hardy, something really hardy. We don't pull the Jerseys into the barn. Maybe if somebody like has a calf, a baby calf, or like a newborn calf. But it's so nice not to have to keep animals in the barn.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to bring something on that would have to be in the barn. The Highlands definitely do not.
Yeah, and then we mentioned too in our past video, the beef is an excellent quality beef.
Yeah.
It's known for its tenderness. Also, low cholesterol, which not everybody needs low cholesterol beef, but we were interested in that because we have family members who are looking for that. And we like to raise stuff that can be used by our friends and family locally. Yeah, just all around the research we're doing, we're seeing this breed more and more is just appealing to us on every level. And that's when we decided, you know what, we don't have to look into all these other breeds. We like this.
Well, I mean,
Ticks all the boxes.
there's always the future. We can try whatever we want
Eat 'em
going
and get a new
forward.
one.
And then you recognize that there are cons that come with them.
Yeah.
So we've never have had horned cattle before. That's a different kind of working with them, getting used to them, learning about them and how to deal with the horns. They're slow growing. So whether it's getting them to breeding age or getting them to butchering age, they're going to take longer than a lot of the other breeds. But we're not in it for commercial production, so we don't want to start like a beef business. It's our like little baby beef business for ourselves.
One of the things we've learned over the last decade is we don't personally, on the business side of things, like focusing on food. The food we like to do for ourselves. When it comes to the business side, we like the livestock being the actual
product,
the
what we're
livestock on the hoof. We could do a whole podcast on this, the business side and why we personally like livestock, but just USDA, right? If you're trying to sell meat, there's so many things, red tape you got to jump through and loopholes you got to look for.
And there's already people around us doing it. So
yeah,
I don't want to race to the bottom kind of thing, given just that there are bigger farms, even in our area in Pittsburgh, bigger Highland Cattle farms who are in it to sell beef. So we're not in it to go up against them.
No. So for us, we wanted to find some animal that also the value in the calves would be there, and we could keep calves as, the focus of what we would be producing and selling as the herd grew.
And that is one thing we saw is a registered Highland cattle, calf, steer, bull, heifer, calf. They do sell. They sell very well.
Yeah. So that's something we've been getting asked a lot too, the cost, the cost associated with them. Some people say, oh, I want to get into Highland cattle, but they're too expensive. One of the things you'll always see within any particular breed is there's a range. There's a range of what you can expect to pay. You might find a dairy or a beef producer locally who has lots of animals. Maybe they're not registered. They're a larger herd, and every year in the spring he sells a bunch of calves, and they're on the more inexpensive side of things, right? Maybe you can go pick up a Jersey from your local dairy barn for
a bottle baby for
a couple $100, right? $500. Whereas if you're buying a mini Jersey from a registered breeder and it's, you know, a 36-inch cow and it produces 8 gallons of milk a day, you're going to spend $20,000. So there's a spectrum, right? When we were looking at the Highlands,
yeah, so age will matter. If you're going registered, you want a registered Highland heifer calf. 6 months old will probably be a few $1,000s. You get the more time and resources the breeder's putting into them, the more expensive they're going to be. So you can breed, I think it's 3 years old they recommend breeding. If you're getting a heifer who's closer and closer to 3, maybe coming bred, that's going to be $3,000 to $4,000 depending on your area, maybe higher.
And one of the things we found, which was very helpful for kind of getting an idea of the price and what was fair and what wasn't, was the auctions.
Yes.
I know for me personally, I hear a livestock auction, and for a long time that had a negative connotation.
You kind of think of your local county livestock auction, right? Where everyone's bringing their, just want to sell my beef, want to sell these goat bucks. That's what we did. Sold goat bucks at one. Got roosters to sell. It's kind of like a hodgepodge of all this stuff.
Yeah, and people will sometimes talk about how, you never know what you're getting at the auction, and you could be getting a lower quality animal. We found within the world of the Highlands, there's some really nice auctions where the breeders show up, their name, who they are, their website, their information. You can research them. They're using the auction as a tool to sell their cattle at a very fair value, because an auction literally...
The one we went to was like a whole weekend event, so it was a show and then the auction.
Yeah.
So you'd have the calves who, this calf placed this place, and now it's up for auction. So you kind of see these animals had been judged, they're healthy, their breed standards, so I'm purchasing a quality animal. And the breeders have their name on the animal, so they do want to keep their good name there.
And we wound up picking up a couple through this.
Picking them up.
And we'll let you meet them right now. We got a nice little introductory. If you missed our video already, you can take a minute here and you can meet our brand new Highland cows. So this one here is Nan. She's our older one. This one here behind me, a little bit, I think, brighter color, fuller, bigger body. That's Jolene. She's younger. I think Jolene's the looker of the two, but I think I like Nan's personality a little bit more. So, you get to meet our two Highland girls, Jolene and Nan, and awesome. We were super happy to find these two. Now, I mentioned in the intro here, we were going to have some funny stories to share, and I think the way we got them, because we were at an auction.
It's an online auction.
It was an online auction.
You were watching the kids. Your parents were here.
Yes.
So you had the kids with your parents watching them.
Kay was
and that's what I said.
She was like,
so I will not be disturbed.
You're taking the kids and you're leaving the house, and I'm going to focus on this auction.
Yeah, well, once every 13 years I could do that.
It's hunting season, so I owed her some quiet time to focus on something she liked. We had done our research. You knew who was up for sale. You knew the pros and cons of each.
Yes. I would approach it differently next time, knowing just the flow of an auction.
This was our first one. I
had seen one earlier that month, but it was a small one, so I didn't it was just harder to tell like prices and what was going on. But this one was a much larger one, so I got an idea like. And I'm new to this world, this like purebred Highland cattle world. So I had a recommendation from a breeder, try to get this cow, and I got her. But Austin didn't know I got her.
I wasn't here. So towards the end of the auction, my parents were here and the kids were hanging out with my parents. So I was like, I'm gonna sneak over and see how we're doing. And it was like 2 cows.
2 cows left.
2 cows left. I walked in at the 3 cows, because it was at the end of the auction was like all the cows that were confirmed bred cows and all the build your herd cows.
It was kind of like just those were the ones that
happened
were
to be
left.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got there and one of the ones we had wanted got up and we're bidding on it and we got outbid by a couple $100. And then there were just 2 left.
Then
So the next one was another.
You're always outbid by a couple $100, You just have to decide like at what point.
That's how it works. So then Jolene was up, and we had all the information about Jolene, why we wanted her. Jolene is how old is Jolene? Do you remember?
8.
8 years old, so kind of the prime. She's already had.
She's lots of calves.
She's got calves.
Bull calf at her side. Good mom.
Yeah, and she's confirmed bred.
Confirmed bred.
This is big. We haven't talked about this yet. So Jolene's already confirmed bred, and we're like, this is a herd builder, right? Right away, we're going to get a confirmed bred cow and a little beefer at her side. That's great. And I was like, all right, let's get her. So Kay's at the computer, bid in, and I'm watching. And okay, we can do that. And all the way up, and we win it. And I was like, yeah, we got one. And you're just like,
I was like, yeah.
We did.
We got 2.
Huh?
I was like, I got another cow.
I won one earlier tonight. Why didn't you tell me? You didn't ask.
You didn't come in like, so did we win anything yet?
Note to
now
self.
You know
now
what
I
to
know.
ask next time.
Lead with, how many did you already buy?
Already buy, yes. Nan's our, she's our gamble. So she's an older cow, great genetics, was pasture exposed, but not bred. So.
And when you were at the auction, they were talking about Nan, and they didn't know if she hadn't been confirmed.
Not confirmed. It was like coming Monday, the confirmation.
They were like, well, she's been in the pasture.
Been in the pasture, probably bred, no problem. I was like, okay.
Really good genetics.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
She is our crapshoot, Nan. But she is a nice cow.
And she's also got a beef at her side. She's got little, which we have. So now we have 2 cows, and they both have a bull calf. When we were looking to get into the beef side of things, you were on the hobby level. You were looking to get.
Just for me to get started with a Highland, I was looking at just a young heifer, a yearling. I was thinking small scale. And you said, let's just do this a little bit bigger. Let's get some bred cows so we can get this started. Because it does take a while to get them to breeding age and then to have a calf and then to raise that calf. You can see why there's expense in these cows because the slow growth.
Yeah, we really, after doing the mini Jersey thing for years and literally going from a single bred cow to now having a small herd that keeps going and we get more from every year, I saw how long that takes with our step into beef now.
And it's funny how long it's taken to grow our dairy herd when you say that because all we've had is heifers. Right?
It's a shock.
So,
yeah, that's incredible.
Now we have these 2 little bull calves, which is nice for the beef. But I'm like, all right, our cows are getting older. So hopefully we get a heifer soon out of them.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to keep going, keep thinking okay, this is how long it's going to take for the next generation and the next generation.
We've used up all our heifer cards.
I think so.
On the mini Jerseys, we've got so many heifers. So when we decided to get into the Highlands, instead of just getting one little heifer, I wanted to get more at once.
Which is fantastic, because you know what that means?
You had a green light to get more.
And
They're
You're
not,
like, it's a team.
it's a
We're
team
in it
thing.
together.
It's not like, well, you got all those cows now.
No.
No, over the years of working with cows, I have just grown to just love this animal. I feel that every homestead over time will find what I'm now calling the keystone animal. This is a new idea that I want to talk about, in instructional videos.
Fun.
Boring. Now let's get instructional. The animal that your homestead is built around. The animal that does the best for your homestead. And then all the other animals kind of support that one. And for us, it has become cows. Cattle are the keystone animal on this homestead. Now, if we moved, that would have to change.
It would change.
If we moved to a 1 acre little, piece, you and me in a tiny cabin, this is our dream now that we have a huge family and a huge farm. Now we're going to have a little 1-room log cabin and 1 acre with nothing to mow.
We're surrounded by trees.
Just all forest, yeah. But that would have to change, right? It would adapt and change with our new surroundings. But here, the keystone for our homestead, the keystone animal is cows. And so moving into the beef, I wanted to have more than just one heifer. I wanted to have the ball rolling because we already have cows. We already worked with cows. Let's get some great whites.
It felt like yeah. It was a big step, but not too big.
Right. And we didn't get a herd. A huge herd.
No.
Or a fold, I should say, because technically, if you're talking
called
about
a fold.
Highlands, they're a fold.
Yeah.
So we decided a nice kind of middle size was
2 cows.
2 cows.
Calves at the side.
With calves at the side.
Yeah.
Those calves, what are we going to do with them?
We don't know yet.
Bull calves.
We don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But we're going to pull them off of their mamas soon. They're old enough to wean. Start working with them and just it'd be nice to get a feel for them. See what they're like to work with. They're gonna drag us all over.
And you're going to watch.
No, they're going to drag you all over.
Yes. By nature, you're pregnant. They have big horns. They're larger animals.
The babies have little baby horns.
Yeah. Just these cows
But they're
in general.
strong. They're going to be so strong.
We're learning at a distance, right?
Taking some of Karen's tips.
Yeah, a lot of Karen's tips. We have a great episode of interview with Karen we've talked about recently, but if you haven't seen that, there's a YouTube version and there's a full-length Pioneer version that talks about your first cattle and how to get used to them safely and learn to be around them. And one of the things we're doing every day is we're feeding them a little grain under the fence to just spend some time around them. We're filling up their water trough. We're talking to them. That's something I do every time I go up there. I'm chatting with them.
Yeah. We
Usually
didn't know
talking to Nan.
how friendly they would be with us, especially as new people. My Jersey cows are friendly with me. They're not fans of new people. So cows like routine. They like their people. So now we're just all getting used to each other.
Yeah. And doing that, you talked about in our video how cows have a bubble, humans have a bubble, and right now we're learning where our bubbles meet.
Yeah, and where they need to be.
Where we're comfortable, where they're comfortable, and it's all new. Our dairy girls, the bubble with them, we're milking them. Literally today, I'm milking one of our girls, and my head is pressed into her leg as I'm trying to clean her up and get her ready. That is a very different bubble.
Oh yeah,
think
about. I'm so interested in their body language and how they perceive us and how we're perceiving them, and just making sure that. So they're moms. They've got their babies at their side. We're predators. We're threatening to them. Making sure our posture, our body language isn't threatening to them, but still that we're the boss of the herd.
Yeah.
It's a totally new thing.
It is. It's a whole new experience in the dairy. And that's, while the comment was a little snarky about the goldfish and the great white, and it was very much hyperbole, I understand the
sentiment behind it. It's a different animal.
And we're definitely in agreement with, and we for years have known this, dairy and beef are different. And we have taken years to get to the point where we thought, you know what, our experience with dairy will aid us in this transition while we still have lots still to learn, and we still have,
And that's going to be your cow, like your bottle calf, right? That'll be your cow that just had a baby. they're constantly hormones changing. That'll be your bottle baby who's coming to heat, right? It's always going to be a different experience for you, your phases of your cow, and then your bull that you handle differently than your cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of always have to be on your toes no matter what.
Yeah, I think you always have to be on your toes with everything homesteading, right? Every step of the way, you're always looking, you're always learning.
So we bought our cows. They were in a different state. So we had to get our cows here, which meant a new experience for us was learning about shipping animals with it not being the breeder of the animal. So the auction house had it set up. We were getting them shipped, no problem. They'd be here the next day. Truck broke down. Now it was time to scramble. Where were our cows going to go? Thankfully, someone was down there at the auction, one of the organizers who was able to take our cows to his farm while we scrambled for the next, how many weeks? 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh my, yeah, it was a long time.
To get them here, to finally find a reputable livestock hauler, which was not easy to do.
No, and we talked about this in a YouTube video, but I know a lot of people listening to the podcast here later don't watch the YouTube videos. We were very, very close to totally getting scammed.
And scammed, like, not they were going to steal our animals, but that they were going to get us to give them a deposit, and, oh, sure, I'll be there the next day with your cows. Just pay this deposit now. So we would have been out a couple $100 and no closer to getting our cows. And this is not uncommon, apparently, in the world of, what were people saying? Birds?
Oh man, Dakota here
Shipping
in the chat
birds?
is sharing stories about the bird world. I'm terrified of ever buying a bird.
Like
Not
and
that
having it shipped.
I don't want a bird anyway. You do. You like birds.
I like birds.
But yeah, like just any livestock world you go into, you have to be cautious because there are people on the internet.
Yeah, so if you're talking about mini jerseys, any kind of mini cattle, you really have to do your legwork to make sure that these people who are sending you these pictures are really, it's their animal. They're not just going to scam you out of thousands and thousands of dollars and then you'll end up with nothing.
Yeah, I read a great tip. Maybe Dakota, she's in the chat box. I think it was Dakota who commented this, but you Google search the image to make sure it's theirs.
So they didn't
not
steal it.
Somebody else's image that they're just copied and pasted and said, yeah, I got a cow for sale.
People are such jerks.
Awful.
Like all this time they're spending. I was thinking about this guy who's trying to scam me out of $200 to haul these animals. Like, how many hours did you spend doing that? Is it really worth it? I guess so.
It must be.
I guess it works.
Yeah, it must be.
But man, what jerks.
So just
don't be that person. Come on.
Be
Don't
on
be
the
a scammer.
I hope they're not watching our video. I don't think the scammers watch our videos. They do look for us when we want to get something shipped, though. That's for sure.
So we did find a reputable shipper who actually had some truck breakdowns as well, which I understand. Like, this stuff happens.
Yeah.
They got here eventually, safely, happily.
And now we're working with them, we're learning about them, and we're, getting into our new routine with beef cows, which I think is really exciting. One of the things that we do a lot on the channel is we change.
We change in our life, not just on the channel.
Yeah, it's true. I think by nature, I like change. I like new things, trying out new things, and I think you're the same way too, right?
I like to really, perfect what we're doing. So if I have a feeling or sense or have proof that something's not working for us, I like to make adjustments.
Yeah.
And move on and make a decision that makes a better choice for our family.
And I think that combination over time has led to a homestead where we do a lot of different things. And some people have been on the homestead they grew up on with their parents and they raised the same cattle their whole life. And that's awesome if you like that, if that's what you want to do. And I think we get comments from time to time from people who live that kind of life. Oh, you guys are always changing your mind and you're always changing. But we like it. We like trying out new animals. And even just the fact that we have this podcast and this YouTube channel, I do think it's a bit of a service we provide. Is We try all the animals so that Dakota can get them later.
It also, we learn so much about different animals that it really piques our interest and we want to try it. I remember when you went to get that goat buckling.
Oh,
and you
yes,
saw for the first time
coonies.
coony pigs.
I picked up a goat,
it like
but I was
throws
like,
us in the way of all these different animals that we're like, yeah, I want to try that someday.
I was picking up a goat I didn't want to get, and then I saw piggies that I did want to. I was like, how much for all of those? They're not for sale. But we wound up with coonies. Yeah, it's something new. It's exciting. And will we have Highlands for the next decade? Will they be sold or eaten in 2 years? We don't know now.
Well,
either way, it's going to be...
That's kind of the point of them, though.
Eaten or
Sell
sold.
or eaten.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
So hopefully, absolutely, we have sold or eaten some
Something.
Highlands in 2 years. Will we do them forever? We don't know. We're trying them out right now.
What will we do forever, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. On a homestead, especially if you're in it for a long time, you're constantly changing to what you need. And
breeds. Think of all the different goat breeds out there that you try, or the rabbit breeds, the pigeons, the chickens. Like, try it.
Yeah, try. Don't be afraid to try new things.
Trying new things.
And see if it's right, and see if it's your next keystone animal. So we got a few questions. If you do have some questions you want answered, make sure to, now's a good time. Throw them, if we haven't covered them yet, throw them back in the chat box, all caps, tag at HOMESTEADY. One good question Sharon asked, what is your goal number for your herd?
Which herd? Highlands or Jerseys?
Because I feel like the mini Jersey side of things, we're almost there.
We're kind of almost maxed, yeah.
I feel like the amount of cows we want to teach every year to milk or actually milk, the amount of,
calving
breeding,
we want to do, calving and milking.
Yeah, I feel like
about four cows.
We're looking to have, and right now we have the lovely Luna, who is our queen cow now. She's our old boss. We were just talking about Luna the other day and how we'll have Luna. She's our new ladybug. She's taking the place. Or is she right there?
There's she, second one in line.
She was second in line in the picture behind us, but now she moved up front. And then we have Honeybee, who the podcast people don't know the updates there. That's in the next episode that you're here for. We'll talk about what's happened with Honeybee and her, calving. But if you haven't seen it yet, go to the YouTube channel because everybody here on YouTube knows already.
We didn't do that video yet. We have nothing about Honeybee yet.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows yet.
Good thing I didn't spoil anything. I did post on Instagram, though, so people know that there's been a calf. That's the next show Kay will be on. We'll talk about Honeybee's calving. So, that's fun. Nobody knows. Whoops.
No.
But anyway, Honeybee, and we have Grasshopper, who we all saw how that unfolded.
She's on thin ice, Grasshopper.
Again,
me.
poor
Always.
Grasshopper.
Always.
Yeah, she's become it's so funny.
Needy.
To go from this super wild, now every time we're out in the barnyard, she's like, moo, moo.
She enjoyed the life of a milker.
Yeah, she's yelling at us because all the attention's going to Honeybee now. And then,
those are our three, yeah.
Those are our three. We're looking to maybe fill that fourth spot, that fourth cow spot. So it won't be Cricket, but we'll see.
Cricket for somebody.
No spoilers to what's next, though. I gotta remember where we are.
All right, so that's our Jersey side.
On the Highland side, what are we looking to have?
I don't know.
Are we too new to really have an answer here?
To answer that, I think we're too new.
Because we will want the beef.
And it depends pasture management. It depends on what we need for bulls as far as breeding.
Right.
So it would definitely be a learning experience here as we figure that out.
I think if I had to just guess, and this will have no long-lasting, don't quote me on this, but if I just wanted to, if I just wanted to give Sharon a number to imagine, I like the 4 and 4 idea. because I just like that amount of calving. We are familiar with how much work for rotationally grazing for is, plus the bulls. So yeah, maybe we're almost to the max for our place. Again, we're working on growing our pasture and having more available land, so maybe that could change. But for now,
You'll have to do more fencing then, you know.
oh yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see, Sharon.
We get yeah, there we go. Nope. Let's see. Oh, here you go. Is it true Highlands do better on hills?
That's what they say.
Really?
Now, they do say Jerseys are less secure in their footing on hills. Mine have done fine. We don't have like mountainsides, but our Jersey girls do fine on it, and the Highlands are, yes, I mean Highlands, right? They should do great.
Jack's here from the Mindful Homestead. Welcome, Jack. He wants to know what he missed.
Nothing, Jack.
Nothing. Okay, so let's see. Good, another good question. And thank you, mods, for sharing these questions. Are you going to crossbreed the Highland/Mini Jersey? This is a good question.
And I would say the Highland Cattle Association really supports crossbreeding of the Highland cattle. So it's not something that's like unheard of, even as far as Highland crossed with another beef to get a kind of faster growing beef. As far as with the mini Jerseys, I'd have no problem doing it.
Kay really that's
I
how
would
we
love
got
to
into
see
this. She
sometime.
got that Highland
The little bull.
onto the homestead.
I was hoping to get one calf out of him.
What were you calling them? Fuzzy jerseys?
I don't remember.
Something like that. I don't want to right now.
No, we do need to get some purebred Highland cattle.
Yeah, I want to have some
Our
pure-
Highland girls have beautiful udders, though. Beautiful teats for hand milking, so.
I know, we almost could, like, when they showed up, we were like, whoa. Hey, Jersey girls, take a look at this. This is what we want. Yeah, if they would let us milk, man. I want to start right now keeping things separate. And once we have a good feel and establish our lines and we're happy with stuff, then I feel like okay with trying to mix.
A woolly Jersey, Jackson.
Woolly. Is that sounds, yeah, that's nice.
Woolly.
I like that. Woolly
Woolly.
Jersey. Yeah, so that's one that, but they are really good, really great to cross with. They're an animal that, because you get that good hybrid vigor, and they have really good genetics. As long as you find, there's always good and bad genetics within a breed.
Yeah, but if you want like your faster growing Highland beef.
Yeah, durable, hardy, all that stuff.
Yep, cross it with another beef breed.
So, yeah.
Will you ever get a horse? What do you
I
laughing
love
at?
homestead channels. Jack, I was eyeing a couple of Highland carcasses hanging at my butcher the other day. They looked great. I love homesteaders. We're such a fun crowd.
Carcasses.
I was eyeing a couple
Checking
carcasses.
out some carcasses, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Will we ever get a horse? I do not know. I used to have horses here. Actually, that's what the barn was for. It was a horse barn. Stable.
AJ wants to know, how many acres are your cows grazing? So we just did the math not too long ago.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think we have currently 7 acres for the mini jerseys inside of our perimeter.
So our
fence.
high tensile fencing.
Right. And we have been rotationally grazing, like very quickly moving them through. And our cows, our mini jerseys, require much less than like even a full-size jersey or anything else. Just to give you an idea, in the wintertime, a flake of hay
A flake of
day.
hay. No.
No.
Flake's the small part. A bale?
Right, a bale a day for all of them.
For the 3 girls.
Yeah, we'll like keep the
We'll
3
go through
girls.
more this year.
Yeah, now we have more. We have the bull and stuff. But anyway, just they require a lot less. So we have 7, but we also have the entire perimeter around the high tensile fence, which we're able to move our mini jerseys out there because they're very respectful of fence. They're very well trained. So we have an additional, we probably have like 11 acres being grazed here. And now we have a brand new 11 we're going to be developing. So
Yeah.
all in all, and then we have another field. If we needed it, we could graze them through. I would like to get us to like 20 acres of grazing or more. So we'll see in time.
20 acres of fencing.
Yeah, that's the trick. That's the tough part. So, a new adventure you're going to watch and enjoy as we bumble along.
Bumble along.
And, yeah.
Yeah, so have fun with us.
As always. If you're looking forward to seeing more Highlands, learning more about Highlands, we have a show planned next week. Homesteady Pioneers can join us for this one live. We're going to be talking to a homesteader who has lots of Highlands on their homestead, as well as very active, just in all kind of like, they got all kinds of different
Chickens,
livestock,
yeah, they do.
hunting. If you've ever heard of Roseburg, the channel's Roseburg, go check them out, and we're going to be talking to them about their homestead and Highland Cattle and all kinds of other good things. So
They're cute baby.
Sarah is going to be joining us from Roseburg to talk about Highlands. Yeah, they got they just had a baby, and she's out there like baby on her back, feeding cows and feeding their chickens and their other stuff, and then going hunting in the afternoon, living that like homestead life. And so that'll be a really fun interview.
Very cool people.
Homesteady Pioneers, you can join us live for that and ask questions of Sarah about their Highlands, about their homestead, their operation. If you want to ask hunting questions, I'm sure she'd love to talk some hunting. But everybody will get to see the YouTube version we'll release later. So if you're not a pioneer, don't worry, you'll get to still enjoy that interview. That'll be next week. And then we have to, next week, get ready for it, the Honeybee series begins.
Yes. Now we're getting close as well to taking some time off to have our own baby.
Yeah. So as far as when is the next live stream or podcast, with Kay here and covering Honeybee and the Honeybee series, the best thing you can do is join the email list. When our baby shows up, as always, we both take a maternity and paternity leave. So when the baby does show up, we will go silent for at least 2 weeks.
We'll hibernate for a little bit.
And possibly more. So if you're on the email list, I'll email everybody and say, hey, good news, baby's here. We'll see you in a couple weeks. So we will have that interview with Sarah next week from Roseburg. We will have the Honeybee series begin next week on the vlog. You'll get to see the birth. Don't miss that video. The Honeybee birth was
intense.
The most intense birth yet, and that's including Grasshopper. And yeah.
And all of our own. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
Having a baby in a van trumps any cow birth, but yeah. So, anyways, thanks for joining us for today's show, and hopefully, we will see you next week for some stuff. Who knows what else long term, but we'll see you then.